Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Thursday, 27th April 2017. I'm Fredicia Liebert. The Nevis Island administration is moving ahead with its plans to establish a proper pier and passenger transfer facility in the Orly area. This pier is in response to the growing business that seems to take place in that section of the island. Minister Jeffers this week informed us that a property had been acquired and cleaned so that plans can be developed.
And I believe the government, in its foresight and visionary approach to development here on the island of Nevis, saw it fit to ensure that this particular activity or business venture continue to thrive. That is the reason why we are putting some emphasis on the construction of this pier. It would be a pier which would be 100 feet long by 10 feet wide. And indeed, we have seen some improvement in this service whereby persons are now procuring boats to capitalize on the business activities in the area, and we are going to continue to provide that environment.
Jeffers noted that there had been some opposition to the proposed project, but the government will continue on as it will augur well for the area for the future of the island.
Over the years, persons have been using a facility that is not too far from where we are, a wooden pier that is, which has grown to be unsafe. It is a hazard. And we are looking at ensuring that persons who use this side of the island to get to St. Kitts and beyond, that they have a safe environment to commute.
Minister Jeffers used the opportunity to describe what the administration's vision for the facility would be upon completion.
It will be a safe environment since it would be managed by NASPA, which currently manages all of the ports here on the island of Nevis, including Long Point, Charlestown facility, and also the Van Sammer International Airport.
It is expected that the construction of the facility would begin once the architectural plans have been finalized. Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, released a statement on the recent double homicide which took place in Cotton Ground on Tuesday, 25th April 2017. Harris said it is with a heavy heart that he addresses the nation in the wake of two homicides that occurred in Cotton Ground, Nevis, 8 days after a young woman was tragically cut down in her prime and another one was injured by gunfire in that same community. He said his cabinet expresses deepest sympathy to the families and loved ones who are grieving during this difficult time. Harris went on to add that his cabinet offers assurance to them and to all of us that the government will neither throw in the towel nor throw up its hands in the face of these senseless killings. He said we will instead throw our engines into addressing the social ills that these tragic murders are symptomatic of, and we ask all of you to partner with us in this mission today. Although disappointed, we are not disillusioned. Our faith in the strong fabric of our society remains unshaken. This is why he always says that the fight on crime is not one that his government intends to lose. However, in order to win this battle, each and every one of us must fight for each other so that our society can regain a safe footing rather than against one another. Doing the latter, fighting against one another, results in carnage on the streets, while doing the former, fighting for each other, entails fostering collaborative community relations where after school and other recreational activities, community policing efforts, job training and placement, neighborhood watch teams, and social programs that provide rehabilitation for offenders, as well as the counseling, mentoring, and monitoring of at-risk and marginalized youths will take center stage. This will require hard work by everyone from parents to pastors to police officers to politicians and principals, and from the young to the middle-aged and the elderly. Harris added that what he outlined are elements of an engaging approach that will captivate the attention of people, predominantly young men, who use guns, knives, and other weapons to resolve disputes and end up being held captive in return by the machismo code of the streets, which makes them live in perpetual state of crisis. This crisis has trickled into our communities, and it is time to stop the bloodshed. The first Caribbean Digitization Workshop hosted by the Caribbean branch of the International Council on Archives, CARBICA, in conjunction with the St. Kitts Nevis National Archives and sponsored by the International Council on Archives Fund for the International Development of Archives, FIDA, is currently taking place at the UWI Open Campus on St. Kitts. The 3-day workshop is being hosted with the theme Preserving Your Memories in a Digital World, aims to explore the low-cost methods of digitizing personal memories across the region. Avril Belfon, Vice President of CARBICA, in delivering welcome remarks, outlined the objectives of the workshop.
To share your personal, organizational, and community or government records with your national archives, whether here in St. Kitts Nevis or around the region. We will introduce you to some of the concepts to be considered when deciding what is of national significance. How do you make these selections? When we preserve, we hope that you will come away with some ideas and skills on how you can care for these items that are currently in your possessions, both preventative and remedial. And finally, for access, digitization of collections allow for easier access and reaches a wider audience. Our clients demand it, and we need to step up and be ready to provide those services.
Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, who is also the minister responsible for the National Archives, says that digitization is extremely important, especially to the many persons who are looking for better ways to document their memories.
The digitization of multiple media format enables now a participatory, and some may say an inclusive approach to information consumption, information gathering and sharing. Digitization also protects historical documents for future generations by eliminating in part the repetitive handling of them and the attendant wear and tear.
Prime Minister Harris added that his government strongly supports the idea of digitization in the Federation.
As we are approaching the hurricane season, we are reminded that digitization should form part of our risk reduction and preparedness efforts that make up a holistic disaster management framework. When we build up our data economy in the face of powerful storms and earthquakes that impact negatively on our economy, we can rest assured that our most sensitive and treasured documents would be safe from loss or damage. Digitization, therefore, ensures resilience against external shocks. And while digitization provides another option for small island states to protect their valuable records from environmental threats, digitally stored data are confronted by their own unique threats, and most notably cybercrime.
The workshop includes participants from Guyana, Bahamas, Trinidad, St. Martin, Antigua, Jamaica, and host countries St. Kitts and Nevis. The workshop will run for 3 days, from Wednesday, April 26th to Friday, April 28th, 2017. Still to come, sustainable tourism will be the focus for this year's Tourism Youth Congress. The details when we return.
If you like dancing and whining and fretting till the morning. If you like
drinking, masquerading, live music always playing.
If you like islands of blue seas where people always smiling. If you like
street jams and bandstands where people will be jamming. Don't you miss this time, no.
Nevis Culture, I'm a 43.
Our festival is Sambalaya.
As a responsible taxpayer, you help to finance free healthcare at all health centers on Nevis. Thank you for putting country above self. This message was brought to you by the Inland Revenue Department, Nevis. Be a responsible citizen.
Welcome back. Les Khan, the CEO of the Citizenship by Investment CIU unit, has just returned from the trip to Beijing in China as part of his global marketing program. The aim of the visit was to raise awareness for and to promote investment opportunities in St. Kitts and Nevis. He was able to meet key developers and their agents, including visiting the corporate headquarters of two of them, as well as having a number of meetings with senior executives and investors in the various projects. Khan also took the opportunity to meet with an international marketing agent who is promoting both the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation, SIDF, and real estate investment options. This trip reaffirmed St. Kitts and Nevis as having a mature real estate market and one that provides the best value for clients. The trip also follows on the robust growth of real estate applications. In his presentations, Khan was able to let prospective investors know some key facts about the efficiency and quality of the Citizenship by Investment program, such as its international rankings for quality. St. Kitts and Nevis has number 1 ranking of passports in the Eastern Caribbean. St. Kitts and Nevis has number 2 ranking of passports in the Caribbean, number 5 ranking of passports in the Americas, number 1 country for doing business in the Eastern Caribbean, has the most efficient processing CIU, has the strongest due diligence and vetting processes, and has the top 5 ranking in quality of nationality as indicated by Henley and Partners. The information was welcomed by agents along with the advice he was able to provide on the submission of documentation and what they should be looking for in order to ensure files are expedited. The 10th Annual Bank of Nevis sponsored Tourism Youth Congress was launched yesterday at the Hermitage Hotel. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, John Hanley, in delivering brief remarks, stated that the focus for the Youth Congress is on sustainable tourism.
Simply put, it is tourism that meets the needs of present visitors and tourism stakeholders without compromising those of future generations. And we must strike a delicate balance among 3 components: the economic component, the socio-cultural component, and the environmental component. Our visitor experience must not be compromised through uncontrolled development or abuse of our delicate environment. And at the same time, our rich cultural traditions and monuments must be preserved. Very importantly, local people must benefit from tourism.
2 students each from 3 secondary schools on the island, including the Gingerland Secondary, Charlestown Secondary, and Nevis International Secondary Schools, will participate. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I'm Fredisa Liebert. Thank you for viewing.